All right, I'm about to do episode 536, and this is not a Monday, it's a Saturday, but let's go ahead and do some comments. This is a 6 or a 1, so, typically we do comments on those days. This comment's from Pedro, and let me see which episode this is. 413. I agree that based on everything shown thus far in the story, Luffy is portrayed as an asexual. Additionally, the author answered, what the hell is an SBS? I assume it's a question and answer, but why is it SBS? I don't know. That while Luffy can definitely recognize beauty, like when he called Alvida beautiful in Logtown, I don't remember that happening. Luffy does not care about stuff like that at all. And when he called Alvida a beautiful lady, it was more of a categorical description. Sounds on brand for him. Look, he's all about the action. He's all about kicking people's asses. One of these days, I want to talk about like his. Basically, violence is his first solution to everything, and I want to talk about that. He's like Buffy that way. If you watch the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series, she basically hits everybody in her orbit, friends, lovers. I don't think she. No, she even hits. She even hits Dawn, her sister, at one point. She hits everybody. The only person she never hit was her mother. And her father, she only had a couple scenes with him. But typically, I mean, she hit everybody. That's a problem. You're a violent person. You solve your problems. The first thought is to solve your problems with violence. Luffy's the same way. Now, he's not the only toxic, violent person in the crew. Nami will domestic violence like a mofo, right? But, just saying. So he's about the violence, he's about eating, and he's about adventure. And he's easily bored, right? So, very dangerous for a powerful person to be easily bored. But you know what he's not about? The dating, shipping, sex crap. So, that's just, what we've been witnessing. There's also a time he spied, quote unquote, on Vivi and Nami in the bath after saving Alabaster and got a nosebleed. I don't remember that either. But I guess everybody was kind of like looking, weren't they? So he was just part of a crowd. Because I remember, I remember the incident. And of course, Sanji and Zoro, I remember them doing it. I don't remember Luffy doing it. And Nami charged them all. She charged each one with a viewing fee. I do remember that. That was hilarious. I guess it kind of passed by me that Luffy was there too. Which Odo's explanation for was that Luffy was just mimicking Usopp since they were the same age and pretty much best friends. So yeah, I mean, it seems canonically he's asexual, which I think would be great. I was just talking about. I was doing some doing a reaction on the David Bowie biopic, whatever it's called. I don't even think it's a biopic, but Moonage Daydream, right? About how David Bowie is one of the people who normalized bisexuality. Talking about Buffy, Willow was not allowed to be a bisexual in that series. She had to be a lesbian. First, she was heterosexual, then she was a lesbian. They couldn't do the back and forth. They had to pick one. Okay, she's this, now she's this, and that's it. We're done. When clearly the character was bisexual, and the writers even said after the fact that was their intention. But the network wouldn't let them depict bisexuality, and that was in the 90s. And David Bowie was talking about, it hurt his career that he came out as bisexual. But he helped normalize it. It'd be nice to have somebody normalize asexuality, man, because that's a facet of the spectrum, I'm probably more aromantic than I am asexual, but it has made me because I don't watch Buffy for the shipping, I don't watch this other crap for the shipping, so I watch it for the other things, and it's made me aware over the past 10 years when I stopped dating and stuff that how much of media is about dating and it's about romance, and how much is I would say probably 30% of the screen time of the entire run of Buffy was about relationships. 30%. Now, asexuals may be half a percent of the population. I don't even know. Let me look that up real quick. It says 1% actually, so I was underselling them. That's why I want to look it up. 1%. So, 1 out of 100. And I am pretty confident that I think gay people are 3%. I should probably look that one up too. Oh, shit. Guess they don't know that as much. 1 to 7%. So, wow. Story here is I don't know my effing percentages of populations. I don't even think it's about representation. There's a lot of talk about representation, right? I think it's more about just showing a reflection of society that we run into. Like there are people, you have that one friend in your group who just doesn't seem to date very much, right? Maybe they're not even asexual. Maybe they're just like super picky, or they're an asshole, so nobody wants to date them, or they're just. I had a friend who never started relationships, but was open to them. So if somebody else started one, they would be in it. But like, how often does that happen? Like so think we all have that friend in our group who just doesn't date as much as everybody else, right? Like, so it's just a reflection of society. Whereas Sanji aside, does anybody else even seem interested in dating? I don't think so, actually. We've never seen Zoro be like, wow. Well, the time they were looking at him in the bath, but let's put that aside. That seems like an outlier. I don't think so. So that's not normal either, right? Like, you should have, if you have a collection of 9 people, 5 of them should be on the pull anytime they go to the port. They're like, they're trying to pick up a woman at a bar, and maybe the rest of the time their focus is on their job. But you probably, now I think about it, when they show them in port that first night, show Zoro and Frankie leaving with a woman, different women. That'd be weird otherwise. Although, nothing wrong with that. Just show, you can even just show in the background. It doesn't even have to be overt. Just show them leaving with a woman. Yeah, they're getting their smash down. And then you can show Nami even just chatting up a guy, not necessarily things happening. Robin for sure, since she's older, she could be just get her groove on. Some night, the first night they're in port, and then shenanigans happen, and they you can show them at a table like Nami and Robin at a table with a couple guys, and then the shenanigans starts, so they leave. Right, just show an interest, right? Because it's not normal that none of them are interested. I think what they're saying though is that there's a focus. There's a singular focus. We have a job to do. We have plenty of time for that stuff later. That's my mindset. That's why it's just now occurred to me. Wait a minute, this is a little weird. None of them have any interest other than Sanji, and he's played as a joke, right? And they've gone way overboard with that. Usopp had the interest in the one girl, like at his hometown. He displayed an interest, but for one person. So he's not. It's not just any random person. He's a very romantic person, and so he has like a one person in mind, and maybe if he has a lot of time with some other woman, he'll maybe think of some other woman, right? So I guess I've gone too far there. I never minded because, like I said, all these other shows waste all this time with this romance crap. But I do think what you try to do as a writer, you don't try to do the world you want to live in. You try to reflect a realistic world, because if the world is realistic, you're immersed in a story. See, that's the whole point of the representation, diversity, and casting and all this stuff. The point is, and this is why it's so annoying to me, by the way, that people get all up in arms about product integration. Oh my God, they showed a Coke. They're getting paid by Coke. Wow, look at them getting paid by Coke. The normies, it was almost unwatchable when they did their reaction to the second season of Loki, because they had a couple episodes in McDonald's, man. McDonald's exist. They're supposed to say Big Belly Burger. We're not going to feel immersed because we've never seen an effing Big Belly Burger. Oh yeah, they're working a Big Belly Burger. Well, that doesn't exist. So now your story doesn't feel as real to me. So being a McDonald's, it feels real. Because I look around, I walk outside, and I see McDonald's everywhere. So that's realistic. So I feel more immersed. You're talking about a story of time travel and gods and time beings and Kang the Conqueror or whatever. How about we have a little bit that grounds us to the effing story? No, man, the normies are going off, especially Mickey, man. That was so annoying. And they had the unmitigated gall to be advertising Tokyo Treat in the same episode where they're bitching about product integration in the story. Dude, you're getting paid too. So it's just annoying, right? But so I want to be as immersed as possible. I want the world that we see on screen to look just like the world we live in, so I can just turn my brain off and accept what I'm seeing. So that means McDonald's. That means Coke. That means Ford and Toyota, right? Because that's what we see when we go outside. We don't see car brand car. We don't see Big Belly Burger. We don't see Gut Cola, right? We see the brands that we see in our world. So if we see that on the screen, we're cool. Cool. I'm cool with it. Okay, now I can get immersed. Okay, well, another part of that is when we go outside, we see everybody of all the colors, right? We see black people, we see Asian people, we see Indian people, we see Native Americans, right? You know, not necessarily Native Americans, depending on what part of the country you live in, but Indian. New Jersey, I have a friend in New Jersey, and like half the population there apparently is Indian. So she's going to see that when she walks out the door. North Carolina, probably not as much. So the region matters. But the point is, like, you're not going to. I don't think there's anywhere I've gone in the past 20 years and not seen and seen just white people. Like, that's, or even just seeing just black people, right? Even though I'm in the South and black people are common. There's going to be one other white person in the store. So you want what you're seeing to reflect what's actually in the world. There's a reason why they don't do like two moons in most of these TV shows, even if it's on another planet, because that's not it's jarring. It immediately reminds you, hey, this ain't Earth, even though they may specifically state this is not Earth or it's a different timeline, right? Attack on Titan is a different world. One Piece is a different world. They don't have two moons. Now, we're reminded on a daily basis that One Piece is a different world because you have all these people of different sizes. That's another conversation, right? I'm just saying, generally speaking, you want people to just slip right into it. You want it to look exactly like, especially if it's a modern day story. I know the One Piece is probably a bad series for me to have this conversation with, but I'm already in it, right? So, generally speaking, you want to just be able to walk into the story and slip right into it. Nothing is broadcast. Hey, this is fake. They're drinking Gut brand cola. There's only white people on the screen, right? Everybody here is straight. Nobody's gay. Come on, man. That's not the world we live in. Although, if I'm walking down the street, I'm not necessarily going to notice anybody's orientation. Public displays of affection are just not as common as you might think. So, anyway, the point here really is that I actually think, now that I'm actually having this conversation, he probably should have some dating going on in the margins when they hit a port, when they first come to an island. It'd be every 50 to 100 episodes. They first get to an island. You see people sitting with the members of whatever orientation they are. Like, Nami could be gay, we don't know. But, whatever. Sitting with somebody, chatting them up, right? Why are they chatting this random person up? We can make whatever conclusions we want. We'll see Frankie leaving the bar with some girl or something. And, Zoro getting his smash on or something. The shenanigans start. Zoro's leaving some woman's house, and he's putting his shirt on, and that's all you do. You don't need anything. You don't need to waste screen time with the actual relationship or one night stand or whatever. Just something, because out of a crew of 9, somebody's gonna be smashing. They just are. There's gonna be some physical hijinks going on, right? I don't want it with the crew, and I'm glad we don't have it with the crew. I love the show Naruto, but there's just even that, I'm having a crush on this person. I have a crush on this person. I'm blushing. I can't talk in the presence of teenage crap, right? So, if I have a preference, it's this one just because I don't have to deal with that shinola. Hey, I can say shit. I just can't say the F word. Okay. So, I guess we can't really hang a hat on Luffy being asexual and saying, hey, this is great representation. Hopefully this will normalize asexuality, when nobody's getting any on this show. Like, nobody, right? And almost nobody has any interest. So I guess he can't really be an asexual icon, even if I want him to be. But so I guess that's where I end up with this. All right, well, shit. That's a really long way to get this weekend started. So let's go and get to it.